Ashish, I know you're running short of time, but just a quick one-liner. Since we are at the temple of capitalism, if I can call it, and we keep investing in SIPs and mutual funds, stocks. Um, we are at the Chief Learning Officers Summit, so we said, how about investing in yourself for your health and high performance? And I know you're a holistic leader, so you know a line or two of advice on how we should be investing in ourselves and reap benefits for a longer life.
Thanks. I think in some ways, the life has many dimensions. One of them is money, but the other is health. Uh, and so, wealth, health, relationships, knowledge, experiences. Uh, in a way, all these dimensions make the person that he or she is. And we tend to measure the person by the wealth she has or um, something which is visible. But the most rich people, the richest person may not be happy mentally or may have health problems. And that's where basically to live a full life. See, at the end, what is the purpose of life, right? All of us are born and then die, and it's a very small signal. It's like a one blip in the larger universe time frame, right? And so, uh, within that blip period, each of us, what what mental peace we have, how we measure ourselves internally. There is no race to this, right? Because you can't be measuring a continual race of 23 or 300 parameters. And that's where you need to figure out which side you want to focus on, at which level, and why and how. And situations will change, the technologies will change, the way of your understanding will change. When you are 20, you have different ideas of the world, and when you are 50, you have different ideas of the world, right? So all these things do matter, and we need to continue to update, upgrade ourselves. For me, when I also teach, um, all my life I've taught. I'm also associated with the education institutions. I'm also on the board of Universities Grant Commission and Chancellor of University of Allahabad and on board of IIM Calcutta and few other things. But I'm also teaching at Nottingham and other places as a professor. So for me, the children or the brightest students who are gold medalists in a particular area, if they don't add value to themselves every day, after 10 years, they will be obsolete. And the people who were the last in the batch and keep on adding value to themselves every day on a larger scale of things, larger parameters, larger dimensions, those are the people who will finally be more unhappy, means what I call less unhappy, because ultimately happiness is a momentary thing. The the framework of what the wise people like Buddha have said, that you have to be less unhappy, right? And that's what finally life is all about. Somebody made more money, somebody made less, somebody had more muscles, somebody could run longer marathons. Overall, the life has many colors to show, and how many colors did you see, right, at the end? And that's what will matter for me. And if you keep on collecting those experiences in different areas, you had a good life. And probably um, you have to take this up with the people you teach or you are responsible to guide into those directions. Of course, the work they have to do, they have to um, end up justifying that work so that they remain employed. But everything else does matter, and that's what I try to tell my people, and of course wherever I teach. I hope this is making sense to you. But
No, a lot of sense, and I think you said some really important things, that we are chasing ultimate happiness, but the real goal is just to be less unhappy, because everything is so relative, right? You score, I think one of those movies, Three Idiots, right? So you score great grades and you're happy, but you're unhappy because your best friend scored more than you, right? So as you said, it's all momentary. Ashish, you've had a tremendous leadership journey, right? Not just as an educationist, as an MD, CEO of several organizations. What has been one big mantra for you, which this August gathering of chief learning officers from India's most respected and largest companies, what can they take back from a leader such as you on one mantra?
One thing, I'm a hands-on person, and so my framework is unless I die, I don't go to heaven. So if I have to delegate and think somebody else will work hard, and probably they will. But if in a modern, fast-changing world, you still need information. You need to continue to know what is happening, and that is where because when NSE started, India used to be on a floor like this on terms of stock trading. Uh, I just said in the morning that India used to do 10,000 trades a day those days. And still, it would take 60 days to reconcile those trades. Today, India does 30 crore trades, 2,000 crore orders in one day. Where was 10,000? Where is 30 crore, right? In 25 years, 30 years. We completed 30 years in this month itself, November 394. So, if you look at it, if you don't stay in touch with things going wrong or going right, you are going to have serious issues, right? And the modern world wants you uh, to sort of to die to go to heaven, right?
That's such an amazing analogy. If you have to go to heaven, you have to die, right? Mr. Dakate, you're, as the CHRO of this institution, you're also a custodian of the organizational longevity, right? So, yes, the board and the CEO have their vision and mission and they are executing it, but you're probably the person who's maybe one step closer to it on the ground in terms of people, succession, learning, recruitment, talent. You know, give us a sense of, how do you say that, okay, this is not like running any other profit making organization. Yes, you make profits, but your purpose is more national. Your purpose is an enabler, right? For so many other people who depend on you. So I'm sure there must be, some other thought process also going on in your mind all the time in terms of how do you treat NSC and the HR function differently.
See, exchange is a different space as against other industry segments. If at all I have to give the sense of the business activities, largely we are into two activities. One is the regulation, second is the technology. And as we stand here, things are evolving, changing every day, especially on the technology as well as regulatory side. And therefore, the organization like this need to be very agile, nimble footed, at the same time very sensitive to what kind of changes that are happening around you, and especially on the technology side with the kind of challenges that we are thrown at. And therefore, uh, the primary mandate for functions for HR or learning in exchange space is how's that we are able to create a ecosystem and a space for the employees, thereby human excellence is explored in more meaningful and matured way. That is one. Second, whatever we create, how's that we'll be able to sustain over the longer period of time. And these are the two basic things that we are working at the exchange. And I think in the overall things of uh, managing the exchange operations, learning happens to be at the core in terms of how we evolve with the opportunities and options that we are able to provide to the employees around. And these are the basic things that we stick up to when it comes to the NSC.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ashish, I'm mindful of your time. Your team's been telling me you need to leave, so we'll bring this interaction. I would have loved to have a full hour with him, but it's difficult to get his time. Um, uh, Ashish, we've got a initiative called Sleep Early, Be Hale. So we are promoting people to just sleep early as the easiest habit that you can change for your overall health and well-being. We'd love if both of you would, pose for a picture with this. And with your permission, if we can just ring the bell, maybe an afternoon lunch bell, right? A lunch bell we'll ring, and then we'll, proceed for lunch.
That's right. So we have the initiative wherein we can get a photograph with you, and that's right. We say everything happens here at the Chief Learning Office Summit, and this is one of an honor to have Mr. Ashish Chauhan share his views on learning right here at the Chief Learning Officer Summit. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Ashish Chauhan and Mr. Sharat Dekade for giving us time from their busy schedule right here.